And that brings us to Peter Schrager's mock draft, Larry. I think you and I both regard Peter Schrager as a very plugged-in guy who doesn't just talk out of the side of his mouth to get clicks. As a matter of fact, he hasn't put out, 25 mock drafts. He's put out his first mock draft after talking with everybody in the NFL that he's got in his Rolodex, and that's a considerable Rolodex. And, he puts a little skin in that game. He really wants this thing to be right and accurate. We'll see how Peter Schrager does, but he's the first guy to have the 49ers with the 31st overall pick. He does not have them making a trade in the first round. He's got other trades baked into his first round. Georgia wide receiver Ladd McConkey, who you and I have talked about sort of in passing. We haven't really focused on him at all. McConkey's the first a first rounder, writes Peter Schrager. Yeah, above guys like Tony Franklin and Keon Coleman, perhaps. I've spoke to a lot of people over the past few months, and I'm not sure there is a single prospect who is as universally liked and respected as Ladd McConkey. Tough, smart, selfless. San Francisco feels like the perfect home. And that's the write-up that Peter Schrager attached to the pick in the mock draft. He is a 6-foot, 185-pound wide receiver who ran 4.39, so he can move, 1.52 10-yard split. So he's quick in a short amount of space. And after his redshirt season, he was named SEC All-Freshman Team. After his second season, he was second-team All-SEC. Last year, he won the Werfel Trophy for community service. He was a finalist for the Campbell Trophy, which is like the academic Heisman Trophy. He was named to the All-State Good Works team. So good guy, big brain, smart guy. And we know that Kyle really values all of that. And apparently, if you just say, hey, kid, go out there on a football field and impress me with your route tree, apparently he runs the fuck out of a route tree, Larry. Like, that's the key to his entire game. Cuts on a dime, quick stops, quick twitch player. Ladd McConkey at 31. Kruger, what do you think?
Well, first of all, I'm not a big Peter Schrager fan. I mean, it's just, I don't know. I think he's tied in because of his dad. And
well, he knows people. I mean, a lot of people know him and talk.
Yeah, but I'm just saying he doesn't. I don't think he really knows. He's not watching film. That he's just regurgitating what somebody else told him. And this is lying season, and people lie to people like Peter Schrager. So I would say I don't put a lot into it, but McConkey is a good route runner. I think he's a slot receiver. He's a smallish slot receiver who ran a great 40 time and doesn't have any real production to show for it. I mean, he had 2 touchdowns all year. 2. As in you and me. 1, 2. So that's not a lot. I mean, the LSU kid.
The year before, he led Georgia in touchdown receptions.
Okay. But I'm just saying he's to me, I got durability concerns there. And I don't think this is a guy that replaces Ayuk. This could be a guy that replaces Jennings or a guy who complements Jennings. Jennings is the big slot. This guy could be the small slot, but it doesn't make any sense at all. So to me, you need a center, a guard, and a tackle on your offensive line. You need a defensive tackle, probably another defensive end, a linebacker, 2 safeties, and a number 1 corner on defense alone. You have no tight end to speak of after Kittle, and you're going to go to a smallish slot receiver in the first round to share the slot receiver duties with Juwan Jennings, who's your big slot.
Here's the thing, Larry.
Talk about low value. Right. Talk about low impact. I mean, I like Ladd McConkey in like the 3rd round.
I like Ladd McConkey. I don't like him at 31.
I mean, it's so low end. It would be the equivalent of like, your wife coming home and saying, "Hey, I just ordered plantation shutters," and you're like, "Great, but honey, guess what? we don't have a roof to our house. We need a roof to our house. It's like, but you're going to love these plantation shutters. I don't care about the shutters. We don't have a roof, and it could rain next week, and then the water's going to come in. So, I mean, that's the Niners. They lack a roof, and Lad McConkey is like a nice little upgrade to, like, it's like lighting the path from the sidewalk to your front door. It's like, it's so low priority,
right,
that it makes no sense.
Right. You need
no
more
sense
square footage, not French doors.
Yeah. Oh, guess what? We changed out our gold doorknobs for crushed silver or whatever. So what? We have no windows on our house. It's like, it's such a extra item that, do I think that there are people that may go for Lad McConkey in the first round? Sure. But man, I mean, the 49ers badly need help where it counts the most, on the line of scrimmage. You're going to go Lad McConkey, and it's like every pass. And to make it even more idiocy, you're about to, if you believe the reports, pay Brandon Ayuk close to Justin Jefferson kind of money. And you already have $28 million a year devoted to Debo, and you just signed Jennings, and you're going to bring it, and you have Kittle, and you have McCaffrey, and you're going to bring in another kind of weapon that you're going to throw to instead of throwing it to your money guys.
Right.
No, I don't think so.
By the way, one of the telltale signs of aging in my life has been an appreciation of a well-placed brushed steel doorknob. Part of the aging process in a man's life is the appreciation of the appliances and accoutrement around a house. Like I never in my, in any part of my childhood, my teenage years, my 20s, my 30s, my 40s, until I bought a house, I never noticed what your faucet was made of. I never really took stock of your kitchen cabinets or appliances in my life. You buy a home, you grow up a little, all of a sudden you start looking at that stuff like it's a stripper coming out on the stage. You're like, oh, what is that? A Sub-Zero? That's a nice refrigerator you got there.
Is that a Wolf Range?
Yeah. Whoa.
Is that a Viking? You got a Viking 6 burner?
Yeah.
What the hell, man? Yeah.
Friedman's?
This guy's got a Sub-Zero and stainless steel appliances across the board. He's got a dishwasher from that's from France. It's like, who cares?
Well,
yeah,
I didn't
care more. I guess your wife. You care if your wife cares.
You care if your wife cares. That is how life works. Absolutely. Last note on McConkey, a little write-up by Lance Zierlein, who said McConkey has a route plan that allows him to uncork at all 3 levels. His pace and rhythm make cornerbacks more reactive than proactive. He has the footwork and body control to snap off crisp breaks and open windows for his quarterback. He can manipulate coverage with an advanced feel for leverage and has enough top-end speed to get past corners who are non-believers. In other words, underestimate the white boy's speed at your own risk.
2 touchdowns this year.
Yeah, he might not be sudden enough to beat press and will need to improve enough play and strength and finish to contest catches against tight man. In other words, here's a really good guy in space. You put a big body on him, he's in a little bit of trouble. So I like Lad McConkey. I don't like him 31 to the 49ers, and I don't think that Peter Schrager got that one right. And for all the reasons that you just brought up, it doesn't feel like the fit that the 49ers take a step closer to winning a Super Bowl if they add it.
You know who the people should be worried about him going to? It's Kansas City. Because this guy does have sticky fingers, and this guy, they already have Mahomes, and they already have Kelsey, and they,
he could be Mahomes' Edelman.
Yeah, I mean, he could be, and they have few, I guess I would argue they have fewer needs, though. If you're a Chiefs fan, you'd probably push back and say, hey, they got needs at offensive tackle. They've got several needs that we're not thinking of. But, you take a sticky hands, good route runner, and throw them in there with Kelsey and Mahomes and whatever Kansas City's got. And Kansas City looks like a scary team.